China has opened up its doors to foreigners investing in their financial companies. The question that nobody is asking is, why have they allowed this now? Is it because of a change of heart? Or is this a need? You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Today we're going to look into the announcement from China. Let's begin. This is an article out of Bloomberg. China took a major step toward the long-awaited opening of its financial system, saying it will remove foreign ownership limits on banks while allowing overseas firms to take majority stakes in local securities ventures, fund managers, and insurers. This comes at a time when the IMF had allowed the Chinese currency into the basket. You can see that they have been engaging in currency swaps with other countries within their own currencies. You can see the creation of the AIIB. These are all major leaps forward. But this is an uphill battle, and there is much more ground they need to cover. But again, they're making steps in the right direction. The new rules unveiled at a government briefing will give global financial companies unprecedented access to the world's second largest economy. Very big news here today, and there's some points that I wanted to cover. Foreign firms will be allowed to own stakes of up to 51% in securities ventures. China will scrap foreign ownership limits for securities companies 3 years after the new rules are effective. The country will lift the foreign ownership cap to 51% for life insurance companies after 3 years and remove the limit after 5 years. And then it goes on. Essentially, they're opening up the doors and they want more flow inward. The question I have is, why? Why now? And I'll answer that. But let me cover this first. Limits on foreign ownership of joint ventures in China's financial services sector will be relaxed over the next 5 years. So we are looking at this over a 5-year period where things will change. It's going to be slow. And of course, if there are any headwinds, let's say, this could change. So we'll see how it progresses. The reforms will see the largest liberalization in China's financial services industry since 2007, when foreign banks were allowed to set up locally incorporated operations in China. So just before the financial crisis, they started opening up, and lo and behold, there was a crisis. So we'll see what happens this time around. But I do believe that opening up to the world is a good thing. You want to have these agreements between just the two nations. I agree with what's happening right now, how they're trying to take down NAFTA, for example, and just have the two countries speak to each other. Let's make a deal. You can see that China is doing this with the currency swaps. They're talking to another country and saying, look, why don't we just deal with our own currencies? Why do we have to deal with the US dollar? So that's one side of it. But look at this. China desperately wants to recapitalize its mid-sized joint stock commercial banks, which it sees as posing systemic risks. Last year, the People's Bank of China said that if a mid-sized bank were to default on average, 4 to 5 other lenders would also be affected, and more than 8% of the industry's capital would be wiped out. That's a mid-sized bank. Imagine a major institution. Well, I thought this was, well, funny. To be blunt about it, okay? Look at this. So they're talking about the major institutions, the very largest. They are reasonably capitalized. What do they mean by reasonably capitalized? Well, the truth is that, as you expect, not very capitalized at all. Look at the percentage here. 14%? Except for China's largest banks, mid-sized and regional lenders are in need of greater capital buffers. When you look at this, what they're showing here, I mean, are there any others? Because I don't see any on here that are stable at all. I don't see any of them that are actually have enough funds, enough reserves, enough capital. None of them. And of course, they never expect a crisis to occur. Never. Along the way, you hear it every single time. Everything is great, everything is great, everything is great, and yet it doesn't really matter. What a world we live in. So that's the truth. They have a problem with capital funding, and they decide, look, if we want to bring in the billions and billions in, all we got to do is allow ownership to these companies, and the money will flow in. I'm sure they're going to be judging who stays and who goes, and they're going to regulate the hell out of these companies, but I'm sure that there will be major investment going eastward. There is no doubt in my mind because of this. It's a very big thing for China in a way, but it also highlights the problems that they're having. So I just wanted to bring that piece of truth to you. I hope you found it informative. I hope you found it enlightening. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. I do appreciate that very much. When you give me a thumbs up, it pushes these videos higher up into the YouTube search rankings. So I do appreciate that very much. And last but not least, if you found this video informative, I know you will find my books, The Money GPS, and my newer release, Global Economic Collapse, even more informative. You can actually flip through these books. If you go over to Amazon, the links are in the description below, you can actually flip through the pages of these books to see if you like them. I also wanted to mention that I am very grateful to all those who support me. Whether it is just some kind words through an email, through the comments, or it's thumbs up or subscribers. All of that is great. I also want to personally thank each and every one of those who donate to me through any of the cryptocurrencies, through PayPal, through Patreon, of course, and every means that you've donated to me. I really appreciate that, truthfully. And it's just, whenever I see that, I'm very grateful anyway. Thank you.